Garrett, we'll let Odin go, and then we're going to wrap things up in the next 15, 20 minutes, but I do want to play some audio from that fucking podcast.
Oh, you got to, man. That thing is so fantastic.
Oh, if you play it now, I'd love to listen.
Where'd you put that? Was that in the main chat?
It's in Discord. I can.
Where'd you drop that?
What podcast was that from?
Is that the one the Tolkien professor did?
No, it's called the American Id. Nobody's ever fucking heard of it.
I know.
Nobody's
3 people listened to it.
No one's ever listened to it, and it comes from The Conversation. So Ryan knows what The Conversation is. It's that blog that comes from that Canadian university that I did a video on. That have called us, like, basically. It's a podcast dedicated to calling Rings of Power critics fascists and far right from the rewriting Ripley perspective. I mean, straight up, that's what it is. So go down.
Hobbit camp fascist.
Oh yeah, keep going down. Go down to Eye of Sauron, Rings of Power.
This one,
and it's long, but we're gonna play like the first 10, 15 minutes. Okay.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ, that's gonna take fucking 3 hours.
No.
We're gonna EFAP this thing. I'm ready.
No. We're gonna let it run, and I'll have him skip ahead because I want to get it to the point where he said that those of us who are criticizing it want to keep Tolkien manly. And it's like, yeah,
he's a man. In the aftermath,
I do. I want to keep it manly. I want to keep Tolkien, the devout Catholic's work, manly and not filled with LGBTQ representation that he never intended to be there. Make your own. I don't care. There's plenty of gay fantasies out there. Fine. There's tons of them. I just want this story to remain this story. That doesn't. Yeah. That's not my worldview.
No,
it's just this fucking story.
Go ahead and make your bros. Go ahead and make your bros.
My view on how Tolkien should be represented, goes across like how I vote for president, how I decide to eat my sandwiches. Fucking idiots, man.
I know. You know, the thing is, though, the real reason why they don't make their own is they don't have the talent to. And when they do, like bros, look at how it turns out. It friggin' bombs, okay? Because people aren't interested in it. And so the only thing they have is to co-opt a popular property so they can get their, message in to a larger audience because they're talentless hackers.
We could have listened to the entire fucking podcast by now.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, you skip past the intro.
British fantasy writer J.R.R. Tolkien and The Lord of the Rings.
Did it already.
We'll talk about Amazon's brand new $1 billion Tolkien-based Rings of Power series.
Holy crap!
He's a male feminist.
Far-right trolls that have flooded the new production.
I said NPR.
Racist and misogynistic
these people sound so uninteresting.
We'll also think through the larger ecosystems that these online fascists have learned to harness.
Sounds like a calm Billy Eichner.
Anti-democratic culture.
And by that I mean gay.
Oh, by the way,
I love how they link
In
it
the
to
second half of the
anti-democratic.
episode, we go back in time to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films, which were released.
She sounds like a robot.
She says the basically a lot of the stuff behind the Peter Jackson films was due to Bush era
9/11
jingoism. Like, what the fucking 9/11? Yeah, it's like you mean people wanted to feel better? Yeah,
and they started filming those in like 1999, right?
Yeah, I was saying that predates 9/11.
97 they started filming.
See, that's their mind though. Everything connects back to alt-right and this political culture war, and it's like it's just Lord of the Rings.
I want to say the second film came out like after 9/11.
Yeah, it did. They filmed them before 9. Like the reason you can equate it is it probably did better because people just wanted to escape, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man did very well because partly it was very, very good fucking movie, and it was one of the most well-timed movies ever because the everybody was feeling like shit. We needed something positive. We needed something positive, and Spider-Man was just a purely positive movie, right? And it was centered in New York at the time, and that's why it made $1 gazillion, and it should have. Hit play.
Bush rallied the nation for his holy war against a nebulous enemy in the Middle East.
And we discuss the ominous revolutionary potential that neo-fascist figures like Steve Bannon later found in fantasy fandom.
Thank you for joining us.
People are
Let's
fucking morons.
get to the id.
Let's get to the retard.
Let's get to the id. I am robot.
The fact that they call it id is so fucking pretentious. Oh my fucking god! With this music,
Music is so lame.
It's just
That's horrid.
About the new
just
Amazon series.
The Rings of Power.
By the way, pause it
really
for a
long.
second. The guy who talks like this is the expert on conservatism. I just wanted
I'm
to tell you.
just like the biggest expert on the subject. Like,
So,
oh
like,
my god.
I'm either gay or I'm a male feminist. I'm not quite sure.
Well, she says later in the podcast that she lives with him, so they're either roommates or he's
beard.
remember
Yes,
what was
like
the
he
Saturday?
owns-
What was the
The roommate.
what was the SNL skit? The effeminate married guy. God, who did that?
That's a razor fist for sure.
Or Caddy Daddy.
Caddy Daddy. Yeah.
Does he live with his girlfriend and her boyfriend?
The two things I like are shopping and crushing pussy. I'm Caddy Daddy.
Caddy Daddy. Classic.
That's
I
fantastic.
can't wait.
Oh
my
Time
god.
to remember the name. The Rings of Power. All right. I know that it's coming out on September 1st. I know that every time something is released from it, everyone seems to freak out. And that you get a lot of emails and contacts from people who are being attacked online. And I know that it has a diverse
Receipts.
cast, which means that there's
Attacked
representation
or
of
criticized?
people of color and women,
They can't tell the difference.
which is our bar.
Which is our bar.
That's what I know about it. Wait, it's about like the before times. Is it from the Silmarillion?
Okay,
Close.
pause.
The before
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
Pause.
it's from
She doesn't know anything about Tolkien,
knows
and she
jack
is
shit.
diving into this
I
fucking
know it
fandom
released.
and calling
September 1st.
everyone
And you get some
racist
emails?
and fucking fascist without even knowing what the fucking show's about.
They have big feet.
Even I know more
all
than
of
this
them.
chick.
I know that. There's a big ring.
There's a ring and,
Circle.
and fascists like the ring. White supremacists and fascists like the ring. That's what I know because I thought of it all by myself and didn't bounce a single idea off of anybody because I'm retarded.
Joanne Robinson.
Fucking apparent.
Fucking
Oh my god, they're doxing me.
Okay, we might not make it through
the
20
earlier
minutes, but-
ages, so several thousand years before the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, in Middle Earth's first and second ages, so thousands of years before.
Oh yeah. And I just learned that this is that Lord of the Rings takes place a long, long time ago in a planet that is this planet.
Okay, pause it.
She got everything 100% wrong.
But she is
Long time
qualified.
ago in a
In
planet
3
what?
minutes.
Like-
But she is
A planet
qualified to
that's this
call
planet.
every fucking critic a racist and a sexist, a misogynist and a white supremacist and a fucking fascist based on that wealth of
But I
knowledge.
just learned.
I'm going back. I'm going to play that again.
First and second
Hang on.
ages.
He sounds so
Thousands.
low T.
So
Yep.
She does.
thinks
No, he does.
thinks Lord of the Rings is based in our same world, but in another time, like
Yeah.
unironically.
Yeah.
She's getting mixed up with the Wheel of Time. Holy crap!
Years before.
Oh yeah. And I just learned that this is
fucking hate
that Lord of
this
the Rings
bitch.
takes place a long, long time ago in a planet that is this planet.
Yeah, basically.
I had always
Yeah, basically. Basically, that's what happened. Yeah.
That's the Wheel of Time. What is she talking about?
Because we have magic here. I'm just saying. Oh my god.
You know, anybody
Continue.
can make a podcast on Apple Podcasts, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yes,
I,
you
you
were
how
correct.
I started. I just started talking in the microphone, uploading it to
Yeah.
fucking iTunes. Hit play. It gets
thought that
better.
it has a fantasy. It was a kind of alternative space, but it's like N.K. Jamison's Broken Earth series. It's here. It's just forever, forever, forever ago. It imagines that elves and wizards and all that existed in some kind of distant Earth past.
So now I know enough.
like this.
So now I know enough about the story to call all the fans racist. What a fucking
Yep.
dipshit.
I just found out. Like that's how you started it.
I just learned.
This is their series on far right Tolkien. This is what. And she went to
I'm an
school.
expert because I learned about this 5 minutes ago.
dumb bitch
and I'm
went
gonna
to
share
school.
with you the reason why everybody who hates this series is racist and sexist and misogynistic. Because clearly, I know everything about this show. in series and books and everything because I'm retarded.
I mean,
I
I'm
award you
starting
no
to question
points,
myself.
and may God may have mercy on your soul.
She's speaking so confidently. Like, Gary, is this like just obscure lore? Is Middle Earth based on like foreign history? Like, did I miss something? Is it ancient Earth or another what?
It's Lord of the Rings is supposed to be mythology for England. Whether it's the secondary world. It's the secondary world. Is it necessarily supposed to be Earth and the primary world? It's a precursor to it, but it could be in very ancient times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe.
But it's called the secondary world by Tolkien and Christopher Tolkien. And the primary world is the one we live in because it's a fantasy.
Because it's a fantasy.
But there are many things, like you heard Tom Shippey say in one of my videos, like beneath the map of Middle Earth, you see a map for England. So, yes. Like, A Song of Ice and Fire is a different planet. That is a different planet. You are on a different world. Play.
All right.
Yes, you know some things.
I live with you.
I know some things.
So the series is this newly imagined prequel to The Lord of the Rings, and it covers the deep history of Middle-earth, both the first and the second ages. And it's based not on the Silmarillion, which is what a lot of people think, but it's based actually on the appendixes to The Lord of the Rings. These were added in 1966, and because they were added outside of the text, they somehow fell through the contract when the Tolkien estate sold the film rights in the late 1960s. And so Amazon found this hole and made a bid. The sources are basically a bunch of little tables, some prose essays, and a thousands-year-long chronology of events that give a bunch of names and dates. And that's what Amazon purchased for $250 million. And purportedly, Bezos was willing to spend this much because it was a prestige project for him because he claimed to be a big Tolkien fan.
How much are they spending on the series?
Well, the initial reports were around $500 million. The new reports are saying that it's now well over $1 billion for the first season of the series.
Yeah.
So colossally more expensive than any other production. Over the past couple of years, every time people have learned something new about the series, these great big troll mobs have lashed out online and attacked the production. And often they attack anybody who shows any interest in it.
Okay, stop.
Also, don't you love how he said appendixes?
Appendixes?
Appendixes? Is he an expert? And he said appendixes?
He said appendixes, and he's an expert in conservatism. No, by the way, I think I speak for all of us. I don't think any of us have gone out and attacked anybody for liking it unless somebody has just called us a racist or called us out, and we've defended the fans. Lofty doesn't count. He's not even around anymore. Like he quit the internet over this.
Poor Lofty.
Man up, dude.
I don't know if I had a hand in it, but I did debate him, and that was one of his.
It's a fucking internet. Put a helmet on, get ready. It's called life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is tough.
Life is way fucking tougher than the internet. Okay. But that being said, I would say the same thing to my kid. If I saw my kid act like that, oh my God, I would shame him until he cried.
How dare you watch this show? It's horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
How dare you?
But I lost my train of thought now. I've never gone after somebody who liked it. I've never never. I wouldn't. I don't care. I don't give a shit. That's pure projection. Like even, like passive aggressive stuff. But especially with the One Ring, I've gone after them after they went after me. Somebody I used to recommend people to their channel, their site for years. Mm-hmm. I did. And they took a swing. So I just took a light swing back.
Well, you go after takes, not people. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will argue your ideas. But if you like the fucking show, like the show. Don't let me ruin it.
They'll attack you for not liking the show.
As my wife pointed out,
that you're an alt-right fascist Nazi
who's a threat to democracy.
Look at all this power we have. We're threats to democracy now. Everyone.
Yeah, I know. That's so fucking
I didn't know I had this much power.
God, they give us so much fucking power, man.
Yeah, they do.
It's insane.
Giving us way too much
Threat to
credit.
fucking democracy.
Jesus. Okay, we'll go a little while longer, and then we'll get back to super chats.
Early on, some radical Christians and incels freaked out when they learned there was an intimacy coordinator.
Shame the Christians.
Radical
all this
Christians and
paranoia about hypothetical sex scene.
Pause, real quick. No, everybody
Radical
was
incels and
pissed.
Christians. What?
OneRing.net, which one of the co-hosts is a gay man, were pissed off about this. Okay, and they're the ones who reported on it. Just so you know, you can hit play.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Fired up the alt-right manosphere.
Oh, like Andrew Tate.
The manosphere?
Like
Alt-right
Andrew Tate. Oh my god, they're just, jeez.
It's just like
All the
buzzword.
Oh yeah, this is fucking buzzword
And
bingo.
this is in the first 5 minutes, right?
This is the
There's another 38 minutes of this
shit.
shit. Keep going a little while longer. We'll see
Andrew
how
Tate.
long.
And then this last February, before the Super Bowl, racist trolls and conservative media just lost their minds when Amazon announced the cast and circulated images of some non-white characters in Middle-earth.
That would not
Racist hate
exist
mobs
in that
swarmed 3
world.
actors of color in particular. Sofia Nomvete for playing a black female dwarf, the character Disa. Ismael Cruz Cordova for playing a dark-skinned elf, Arondir. And Sir Lenny Henry for playing a black ancestor of the Hobbits. Conservative media rushed in to hype the controversy. Here's a headline that gives a sense of how they framed the story. This is from the right-wing British tabloid Daily Mail. Go woke, go broke, respect the source material.
Daily Mail.
Lord of the Rings
That's really
race
racist.
row as they slam Amazon's billion-dollar Rings of Power series, which has black actors to play dwarves and elves.
There's 2 things about that headline that I'd like to emphasize. The first is the race row. Feels very Jim Crow era.
Jim Crow era.
I don't know anything about the show, but I know
I don't know anything
Jim
about the
Crow.
show, and I talk like I only moved the bottom of my mouth.
What I know about Jim Crow is only surface level.
I just learned something.
I just learned.
And I'm going to apply it to
about
everything.
Jim Crow. Do you know that there were slaves in America?
Oh my god!
I'm an expert on slavery.
There was this guy named
I'm
Jim.
an expert.
Why is this what?
I don't know what crows have to do with it, but they were really mean.
There was
I don't know who Jim is.
Jim, and
But I'm assuming he's racist.
Serious?
Jim is racist.
And Jim Crow, he came from that Disney elephant movie.
Yeah. Hit play.
so Jim Crow. I just found this out. It has its roots in Dumbo, and
Obviously racist.
Racist.
And also, I studied the 19th century. It has a little bit of that antebellum pro-slavery flavor as well.
What
They're
the
always
fuck?
Hold on. Oh, I gotta go back. What? I'm going back.
Get pro-slavery from that. Is she high?
Hold on. Okay,
Is
I'm gonna play it
the
again.
race row. Feels very Jim Crow era racism. And also, I studied the 19th century. It has a little bit of that antebellum pro-slavery flavor as well. They're always talking about race riots, always talking about the possibility of race war. And then the other part of it is it's descriptive, literally saying it has black actors playing dwarves and elves. But the tenor is outrage. So it just assumes that its readership will be outraged.
Yeah, and then over the month of August,
They're racist.
the tenor.
Totally.
He set that up. He set it up by going, these racist people came out and did these racist things. Also, this headline, look how they set this up. They're trying to lead you on. Also, they're racist.
Also, didn't realize that text could have tenor and tone.
And these are the type of people who will just find, it's so problematic and vile. Yeah, if someone changed a black character that was historically black and cast a white character, or a historical black figure and cast a white, they would cry bloody murder
Black
and stuff like
erasure.
this. But it's like, oh no, the fact that people dare say that you shouldn't change a pre-established race that's being described a very clear way, you should stay true to the source material. That's racist because it's friggin' bullcrap. They're hypocrites.
My favorite is making their heads explode by posting the white Black Panther meme at them. So it's saying you should be okay with this then.
Oh, dude.
And it's like, oh no, because he's from Africa.
Like the reactions I get when I just put Miles Morales is Miles Morales or Steve Rogers is Captain America, which are factually true statements. They go in fucking sane. It is beautiful. Oh God. Hit play.
As the cast went out on the press junket, the right-wing outrage machine ginned up another massive hate mob. One of these articles, which drummed up thousands of outrage posts on the far-right news site Breitbart, was titled, Amazon's Lord of the Rings prequel series goes woke with elves of color.
Well, okay. They called them elves of color, by the way.
Oh, but she's got a lot of things to say.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
She studied the 19th century, so we got to listen.
I hate about this. But one of them is the way that the right wing has co-opted for itself resistance language that emerges from African American vernacular English.
And then they make that a dirty word, right? They make it a bad word.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Why would being awake be wrong?
Well, imagine you wake up to a
why would a
complete lie.
Be wrong?
You see how
Imagine
they
somebody put you to sleep
appropriate?
and then brainwashed you, and you woke up into an entirely lie-based reality. That would be a bad thing to do, right? That's why getting woke is bad, because they're waking up to a lie. You're implying that all these things are reality when they're not really reality.
To be awake.
How could it? They're implying.
Why is it bad to punch yourself in the face repeatedly?
Okay, we'll go a couple more minutes.
It could only be wrong if it's identified with something bad, with something you don't want to be. And
Correct.
if wokeness is identified with anti-racism, if wokeness is identified with fighting anti-blackness, then the only reason it could be bad is if because you want to maintain a system of racism and a system of anti-blackness.
The only
friggin'
way.
bullcrap.
Way.
Holy crap, it's like, I'm going to rearrange the meaning of this word. Therefore, everyone is like, it's like, you know, if eating pineapple on pizza means you are a vile communist, that means everyone who likes pineapple pizza must be a communist. That's the logic. I mean, the pineapple pizza one
Which
actually
is
has
correct.
but
no,
that is correct. I mean, I studied, 19th century,
I
so I
the 19th century. So I just learned, Odin. Did you know?
I read a book.
Communists really like pineapple on pizza, so they're all commie bastards. That's what I heard.
No,
but I know.
Like, in terms of what wokeness means, everyone can know what wokeness means by just observing what they espouse, those people who proclaim to be woke. And it turns out the wokeness is actually some of the most racist crap in the world.
Yes.
They're judging people according to the color of their skin constantly in the woke mentality.
And they constantly say that white people are better than black people, but not in those words exactly.
And we're going to find out sooner than later that this is a narrative. This is a narrative that has been spun by a corporation.
Well, yeah, corporations and people like Robin DiAngelo.
No, this was a narrative spun by a corporation. Like, they initiated all of it. So, a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more than the narrative
word.
from Robin DiAngelo and fucking Disney and all that shit. They borrowed from a lot of pages, but no, this was a narrative spun by a corporation.
No, I see what you're getting at. I gotcha.
If you're a white supremacist.
That actually is identified with fighting anti-blackness. Then the only reason it could be bad is if because you want to maintain a system of racism and a system of anti-blackness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woke is only a bad word if you're a white supremacist.
Woke is a bad word if you're not retarded.
I'll just rewrite reality to change the meaning to mean that everyone opposes what I believe in is wrong.
I think I'm trying.
Disingenuous retard. I can't believe it.
I'm trying to go like as far as I can in without Ryan's head exploding because it looks like his head's about to fucking explode.
Wow.
Okay, get to the part where they say they just want Tolkien to be manly.
me to an interesting
But also,
thought
this
about
is so like seditious. You see what they're doing? They're subtly trying to rearrange the meaning of language to vilify anyone who is opposed to woke culture. Therefore, if you just oppose woke culture, you must be racist, you must be homophobic, you must be evil. Everything
he emphatically just said it.
Transphobic. It's back to moral blackmail.
It's so scummy that like this is them trying to create more racism where there's not racism, so they can have a boogeyman to just virtue signal against. Look how virtuous we are, and look at these evil people that we've created, so we can fool you in our own, pretend virtue.
The thing is,
but these are scumbags who are making the world worse and vilifying innocent people. It's so vile.
The people who used to be disruptive have now become part of the system, and we are the disruptors, and they can't fucking stand it.
Yes.
And so does everybody who disagrees with me is a big fucking commie who wants to kill 6 million people and put them in re-education camps? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hit play.
Whether or not the fans who are reacting this way are white supremacists, and what that means about Tolkien fandom. Are Tolkien fans?
You just said they were.
Yeah.
You just said they were. Anybody that is against woke means that they're racist. And then you go, well,
but does that mean the Tolkien?
But does it? He just said it.
Tolkien's work is antithetical to woke. It is traditional. It is completely antithetical to woke. Yeah, like you could spin it however fucking way you like.
So you could say that it's awake.
It's what is
wrong
awake, and what's wrong with being awake? Are you awake as a woman, or a man identifying as a woman? Are you a female who doesn't give birth because you don't have ovaries? What way are you?
It sounds like you're asleep right now, and
it looks like a big bullet.
Sounds very white supremacist.
Could be a red pill.
No, I'm pretty sure that is a fucking bullet.
Anybody that uses the word red pill is a Nazi fascist. Racist?
Yes.
Like this?
Well, I want to start by taking a step back and defining what's been happening in a general sense. We're not really dealing with a fan phenomenon. There are fans involved, of course, but fan behavior alone can't begin to explain the recurrent global hate mobs we've seen springing up over the past few decades with the launch of each new supermassive studio production.
Okay, but what about past few decades? What are you talking about, dude?
What are you
past
talking
few
about?
fucking decades, bro?
Global massive hate campaigns? Is that what you said?
I want to teach a college course on this, and I need it to date further back than just the last 10 years.
Decades.
So I'm gonna make it a bigger problem, okay?
Those global
happening since the 60s.
Oh, you mean the 15 letters people would get? That's a massive global hate campaign. Hit play.
Oh my God.
Go on.
What we're witnessing is a new front opening up in a decades-long international far-right culture war. People waging it aren't just fighting to keep Tolkien's imaginary world white and manly and straight. They're fighting to restore that white supremacist system in the real world too.
I'm losing brain cells with this, Gary.
Just when I thought you couldn't hit any dumber.
We end it there because that's where it gets dumb.
Retardation in that was next.
I got to listen to the whole fucking thing. I got to listen to the whole series.
So
I got to listen to that tonight, man.
My cup is full.
Dude,
Thank you.
I after watching Rings of Power, I had to do it in like little increments, but Quarter Black knows I've had it for like a week, and I've been just breaking through it.
How did you find that?
From the Conversation article, they linked to it. They said Tolkien's fascist, fans are fascist, blah blah blah. According to conservative expert and whoever that dipshit was. I hit the link and I find this fucking podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm a Garrett motherload, fucking motherload of retardation.
The thing is, this is an example of what the left has been doing incessantly, right? They try and make what they're saying, like they fill it up with as many fancy buzzwords, with this false pseudo-intellectual veneer, right? Mm-hmm. And when you have people who are uninformed, the complete laymen who don't know any about these things, they're told, oh, all these things about alt-right mobs are supporting Tolkien and stuff, and they have no point of reference to know this is complete, absolute dog crap. They are just speaking out of their ass right now. It is totally false. They're liars and scumbags, and they're doing it to make the world racist, for them to virtue signal, for them to get more power and everything like that for this subversive agenda. And what's disgusting about it, the level of dishonesty actually works for the uninformed. When someone who doesn't know about this, they will actually start to believe it's like, oh, and they sound so intelligent, everything. And it's just disgusting the amount of manipulation in these people.
Yeah, just because they have an NPR voice and we have cultivated a system where you don't need any proof. You can just say that people are dangerous and a threat to democracy, and like whatever you decide it is, if you're left leaning, like you get to decide who's a horrible person.
Yep, and I have been accused, and rightly so, being conspiratorial. I am. I've always been that way, but like conspiracies have had a really good run lately. They've all been proven to be true. Yeah. So tons of them. But
this is them.
Wow,
she's got those crazy eyes.
She looks like she sounds.
Yes,
and so does he.
I was gonna say that fucking voice is a long way to travel through that nose. That's
definitely a cat owner for sure.
This is their
gosh,
anti-racist, anti-fascist practice.
That guy he holds a PhD.
Yes, he teaches at a Catholic university, and I'm disgusted.
Pseudo intellectual bullcrap where there's like they get titles, right? And they're like, oh, I'm very learned. I've got all these kind of accolades in academia. And then what they say is driveling, nonsensical, retarded crap. But because they say it in a nice way, it's presented as wisdom, but it's utterly crap. Man. Makes me want to
educational sessions on anti-racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, fascism, along with security consultations for groups and organizations. Wow, it's like it's a commie wing. It's a commie wing.
We should get a consulting session with
we should get a consulting that Ron D'Angelo is doing.
No.
Wow. So they're trying to grift. They're trying to make money.
They're just grifting.
I love capitalism.
They got a Patreon. It's like
they got a Patreon.
Oh, $300 tiers.
They got what?
No. Join our $10 tier, which is our anti-racist tier,
and our $300 tier, which is our Marxism tier.
Yeah, the more you spend, the less problematic you are.
Oh my Lord. Okay.